Can you share more information about the growth of Sizer Metals PTE Limited since its inception in August 2010 and how it has reached the 150 million USD in 2021 and 2022?
Well, the journey actually, I would say that when I completed my business administration and I entered into the business. This company was I think a mere 500K US dollar company maybe at that time. I was more interested in business at that time only. So we used to have solder manufacturing. My father used to train me to sit and manufacture solder, literally pack it and deliver it to end consumers. I used to drive a scooter and I used to go to Andheri and many places in Mumbai and deliver material. But at that time I liked the idea. I used to enjoy it, doing it. In that process, I learned a lot of things. I learned about metals, talk to customers, be with customers, interact with customers. After that, I did my business administration. I went to Indore. I did my BBA from there. I came back and I wanted to put my all knowledge into my business only. At that time, we were only into solder manufacturing. We were not into imports also. We started into imports of metals at that time. We also went into ferroalloys and minor metals, for which I visited many conferences. So I started visiting ferroalloys conferences around the globe, establishing contacts with different suppliers, importing those ferroalloys. We also started a branch in Rajkot in Coimbatore because of taxation point of view also, even just-in-time delivery to our customers. We made a customer base of the foundry sector, the steel foundries which were there in Coimbatore and Rajkot, thereby taking our business from 500K level to at a very faster pace to almost $2 million to $3 million at that time, which was at that time it was my target at that time when I entered into the business. But then, the greed increased and I said, now there is another leap that I need to take. I was visiting many conferences in as far as ITRI conference is concerned, which is a tin regulatory authority body. And one of the conferences, I met the CEO of Amalgamated Metal Trading Limited, which is the ring dealers of the London Metal Exchange. Yeah. Now, it was in Spain, I remember, and he called me and he said that, I have been seeing you at many conferences. What are you doing? And I gave him a little bit of background about my business, that I'm buying from traders in London and Singapore and everywhere, and I'm starting imports of metals. And that is why I'm visiting these conferences, to establish more contacts. So he told me, why don't you start your own self? Why don't you start it by your own self? I said, it's a good idea. Let me see what I can do about it. And he gave me a card and he said, go back to India and send me, somebody from our office will contact you. I got a call after 15 days from Mike Hussey from Amalgamated, and they wanted to send me, they asked me for some few papers, financials and stuff like that, which we sent it across to them. After almost 6 months was silence. So I almost forgot about it, that there could be anything coming back. And after 6 months, one fine day, I received a call from Mike Hussey and he said that we've gone through it and we are ready to onboard you. So we want you to come to London and first go through because Amalgamated itself was conducting a teaching seminar for their customers who won't like to come on the board. So they said, you please come here and then we will train you how to trade on the London Metal Exchange, and then you can begin with it. They also mentioned the fact that you should look at a particular destination where there is more ease of business and transmission of payments, rather than if it could be London, Dubai or Singapore, whichever you choose the best for yourself. So I went to London. I had almost a 5 to 6 days session with them. It was a good learning session. Mike Hussey was a good mentor with us. He gave us a lot of insights into the LME and how LME functions, trading on the LME platform. And with that knowledge, I came back. Of course, I was in London, so I did some study about whether I could set up out here. Then I went to Dubai. I thought, let me see if I could do something out here. I went to Singapore. I like Singapore. I said, this is a place I want to be. It was a hunch, and I just said, let me start something here. So in 2010, I started Sizer Metals Singapore. Just put in $100, $200, started the company out there, and we joined hands with Amalgamated Metal Trading Limited on the LME, and we started our business. We bought some warrants from them and traded on the LME. We started selling some material. Initially, we started with small lots of 5 tons, 10 tons, 15 tons of tin, 6 tons of nickel, and we started exporting it. It was a very initial stage, and we started with, I think, a turnover of maybe around 500k or 600k, if I remember. And then slowly and gradually we progressed ahead. Why we went ahead faster was that we knew the market well. We were already there in India since 1976-77, and the Indian market also knew us very well. We knew the retail segment of the Indian market, although we were not catering to the bulk segment of the Indian market because it was catered by traders in London and Singapore and all these people. Now, since we were there, we started contacting these people, these customers like JSW Steel, Gulbranson Chemicals, and so many others, all glass industries, and we started establishing contacts with them. Gradually, the business went up, and from $1 million business, it went to 20 million to 30 million, and so on. In the pathway, we also, we used to visit conferences and everything. Of course, the growth story was coming out in the market that there is a company named Sizer Metals also who is trading and who is supplying material. So we established contacts with companies like Malaysia Smelting Corporation, which is the second largest tin manufacturer in the world. We established many contacts with companies in Indonesia, also smelting companies, Yudan Tin Corporation, and we had ties with them. We came across in 2012 one such company where we had a joint venture with them, and it was we invested in them an amount, and we used to take their offtakes from them of tin. We also started with our own brand of tin at that time, which was SMPL brand, Sizer Metals Private Limited brand, which was as per the Indonesian standards, which complies to the ICDX and Jakarta standards, JFX standards, which is 99.9 with lead below 300 ppm and stuff like that. So we manufacture that material along with PT Tin Indo in Bangka, and we ship it out, and we ship to actual consumers in the industry mainly. We even have a distribution rights for Tin Indo brand, which is a London Metal Exchange brand, listed brand in the Indian market. Now, besides the Indian market, we also went into other markets like into Japan. We went into Taiwan. We established good relationship and long-term contracts with companies like Shenmong in Taiwan, IMR in Europe. Even we started with dealing with ArcelorMittal in Europe. We also started storing cargoes in US, in Baltimore, and we supplied to ArcelorMittal in Weirton and many other, tin consumers out there, chemical consumers out there in US markets. We even became also part of American Tin Trade Association. We are even a part of ITRI, and we try to venture into US markets a lot. We appointed one person out there who did some marketing for us in the US markets. But what happened was that, that there's a lot of business in Southeast Asia only, which is including India. And India's story is very good right now also. And the demand in India for tin is quite robust because India slowly depends on tin imports for tin. India does not manufacture tin. Electronic industry in India is booming. Car industry in India is booming. So the demand for tin is going to increase today also and tomorrow also.
The EV industry.
The EV industry, which we're talking about. So batteries industry, chemical industries, all these industries are in demand for tin right now. We have entered into this niche product of tin, okay, and because of the very fact that India does not manufacture tin, unlike other metals like zinc, lead or copper, which are manufactured by Vedanta or Hindustan Zinc or Hindalco or such like that. But tin, we do not have any producers out there. But besides tin, we also do nickel also. So we do nickel metal also, which we do some various brands of nickel and stuff like that. So this is in totality, this is how Sizer Metal grew from what it was to what it is right now. And we have been expanding on our trading platforms in different products, mainly concentrating on nickel with different brands of nickel, different brands of tin, from 300 ppm to 100 ppm lead content and 50 ppm lead content.